So I'm just going to read a piece that will probably take about 10 minutes, and feel free to keep eating while I read. A recipe for old trout poached in wine. My mother, who calls herself an old trout, as in not bad for an old trout, when she triumphs over adversity and bags a parking lot spot, say, right in front of the dry cleaners in downtown Toronto, is a great cook in the classic French style. Her signature items on the kitchen counter when I was young were a bottle of Mummesin red table wine and a pound of butter. When I reached the age of 35, she gave me a copy of Traditional French Cooking by Kernonsky, the writer and gourmand who chronicled and celebrated French cooking with such commitment in the first half of the 20th century that near the end of his life his culinary friends, a passel of 2- and 3-star chefs, agreed he should never have to pay for another meal again, and affixed a brass plaque with his name on it to the best chair in each of their restaurants, so that he could come in any time and enjoy a fabulous meal free of charge. Not bad for an old trout. This year I cracked open Kernonsky's tome for the first time in search of a suitable recipe for a lake trout, caught the summer of 2009 and donated for the cause by my friend Matt Willis in Lewis Lake, about 40 minutes south of Whitehorse on the Clarcross Road. All the trout in Lewis Lake are probably old trout, according to Yukon fish biologist Susan Thompson. I sent her a picture of Matt's trout for identification. Yep, she said, it looks like a Salvelinus namayakush from Lewis Lake, old and skinny. How old? About 20 years old. Matt said he had to work hard for that trout, but it was worth it, because the trout from Lewis Lake always tastes so clean. The first recipe I read in Kernonsky said, gut the trout through their heads without cutting open the stomachs. The second one I read said, poach the fish in champagne. I said, why not? Then it asked for a fish velouté made from pork bouillon and fish fumé, which I was to pour over 4 egg yolks, add 14 tablespoons of butter and some crème fraîche. I called my mother in Toronto in a panic. Fumé, pork bouillon, crème fraîche. She walked me through the crème fraîche, old hand that she is. I said, but the eggs, the butter, the excess. She said, your point is? We compromised. 2 egg yolks and 7 tablespoons of butter might do the trick. I made many mistakes in putting together this dish. The trout was ready long before I'd finished the sauce. I shirked on the fish velouté and used salmon stock instead. I poured hot poaching liquid over the trout, which made the skin tighten and the stomach butterfly open before Monsieur Tweet was even in the oven. In the oven, the trout's head exploded. I think the initial temperature was too high. But after 20 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 175 Celsius, the flesh of the trout was beautiful. Pink, delicate, tender, and clean tasting. And the sauce? Now I understand why Julia Child found her calling in Paris in the early 1950s, and I understand why she and her husband Paul developed liver trouble after a few months and had to go on a cleansing diet. This sauce, despite its rich ingredients, is delicate, complex, and subtle. You could chase its flavors around your tongue every day, trying to find the right descriptor for the alchemy of sauce and fish together, until finally you'd have to shrug, smile, raise your glass to Kernonsky, your mother, and Lewis Lake, and say, pretty darn stellar for an old trout. Thank you. Please enjoy the tidbits, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you all for coming. It's just great to see you here.